Ted, one of the best things about having your credit card is using those points that you've accrued, whether it's for travel or for cashback, any of these other items out there. But to your point, in this recent survey, it seems like a percentage of the population is not redeeming those rewards. Who are the worst culprits who are not tapping into the rewards that they've worked so hard for?
It's actually older adults who are less likely to redeem. I thought it was interesting that Gen Zers and millennials tend to be a bit more savvy here, especially on the travel side. They really gravitate to travel much more than older adults. But really, I think the main message across the board is this is real value. I mean, as long as you're paying in full and avoiding interest, credit card rewards are great. So use the ones you already have and seek to earn more of them. I think it could be a real inflation-busting strategy.
One of the things that you point out in the survey here is that those who have household incomes less than $50,000 were of the heavier percentages of people who were not redeeming benefits. I wonder, and I think it's alluded to a little bit later in the piece, perhaps just not enough rewards accrued. Is that some of the reason why maybe some benefits are not being accessed?
That is something that people say. Now, they may be understating the value of their rewards because every little bit counts, and these can really accumulate over time. It reminds me of gift cards, too. You know, we've talked about that before, how the average American has $175 in gift cards just lying around. You may have at least that much in credit card rewards. And another key point, I think, is, you know, on the subject of busting inflation, you can get credit cards like the Amex Blue Cash Preferred that give 6% cash back on groceries. I mean, if you've been using cash or a debit card at the grocery store, switching over to this card, paying in full, avoiding interest, that right there trims 6% off your grocery bill. That goes a long way towards fighting inflation. I just think not enough people are taking advantage of things like this.
Certainly, and you also mentioned that there's other options out there, let alone if you want to get cash back on grocery purchases. There's also just simple options out there that they can get just straight up cash back. What are some of the other cards that listeners could consider in the travel or just the cash back space?
In terms of cash back, I actually think getting 2% cash back on everything without an annual fee is a really great option, whether that's your only card if you want to be really simple, or maybe as a foundation and then you want to layer in additional options that emphasize certain categories. You could get 2% cash back with the Citi Double Cash or the Wells Fargo Active Cash. I think those are really underrated cards. In the travel space, I mean, that's where it really gets fun about the airport lounges and the first class upgrades. People love cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, Amex Platinum, Capital One Venture X. I know all of those have hefty annual fees, you know, several $100s. The thing is, though, they have so many credits that can offset those fees that depending on how you use it and how much you travel, you could come out well ahead. So I think on the travel side, I would say don't be scared of annual fees, but do run the math to see how much you would use it.
Certainly, as a Chase Sapphire cardholder myself, I'm glad to hear that they're still holding up pretty well on the travel side of things. That's an area that I focus on. That's Ted Rossman from Bankrate.com going over credit card rewards not being redeemed. Ted, thanks so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.